your checks and step into the penthouse. The vault is officially unlocked, and we ain't stopping. Welcome to the absolute premium brand in the industry. We are broadcasting live for URF Friday Night Flow. Before we handle business, a massive shout out to the elite investors strictly funded tonight's operations. Legit pipelines, strictly helping you expand your corporate portfolio and secure the bag. The board of directors is strictly demanding results. The women's qualifiers are entirely in the books, and they are stepping into the ring tonight strictly for a massive elimination war to determine the #1 seed. But the men are still desperately fighting just to get in the door. We are entirely pivoting our focus to close out their first round because the ultimate coronation is actively approaching.
Look around. You are standing across from the platinum standard of the industry. I see everybody scrambling right now. You got the gritty street rats over on Monday Night Mayhem bleeding in the dirt, and you got the corporate suits right here on Friday Night Flow, scheming in the boardroom. And the funny thing is, I already beat the absolute best both sides had to offer. The women are fighting for seeds, and the men are still breaking their bodies just to get in the door. But let's be real, whoever survives this tournament is just fighting for the privilege of catching an RKO out of nowhere, baby. Just like a chart-topping single. This is the #1 title in the URF, and there ain't a single soul on Mayhem or Flow that can stop me. We ain't just making hits in this ring, we're making history. So run your brackets, I'll be waiting at the top.
Good Lord! The Universal Champ is officially setting the standard. He is entirely untouchable. But the boardroom ain't waiting for nobody. The men are still desperately fighting to survive, and we are strictly closing out the first round of their qualifiers tonight. Hollywood Hernandez thinks he can just act his way into the bracket, but he is stepping straight into the crosshairs of our GM, Zach Lowenberg. Secure your investments because corporate discipline is actively loading. Hollywood Hernandez is entirely relying on his flashy agility and elite speed. He is actively looking to flip his way to the top and completely outshine the executive. But Zach Lowenberg is entirely refusing to play along. The GM is strictly bringing absolute methodical grappling to the canvas. He is actively looking to completely ground the high flyer and stretch his limbs into early retirement. It is pure arrogance strictly colliding with front office discipline. Ring the bell and protect your assets.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from New York, weighing in at 185 pounds, Hollywood Hernandez.
of the premiere, Hollywood Hernandez was actively looking for a stunt, but the GM is officially enforcing front office discipline. The executive is strictly securing his spot in the next bracket. The GM is strictly handling corporate business, but we are pivoting right into an absolute clash of desperation. Both of these men completely came up short in their Watch the Throne qualifiers over the last 2 weeks, and now they are entirely fighting to scrub the stain off their records. Showtime is marching down the ramp, strictly looking to violently bounce back, but Leo is bringing absolute high-speed Memphis energy straight to the canvas. It is pure blue-collar grit, strictly colliding with high-flying agility. Ring the bell! Showtime is strictly fighting for the everyday grinder. The blue-collar underdog completely rejects the elitist culture. He is entirely relying on pure boxing fundamentals and a legendary left hook to knock out the competition. But Leo is entirely refusing to stay grounded. The high-end rebel is actively relying on breathtaking speed and death-defying aerial maneuvers to completely overwhelm the brawler. We got the gritty prize fighter directly colliding with the generational prodigy. Both men are entirely desperate to prove they still belong in the penthouse. Ring the bell and strictly protect your bankrolls.
The following contest is a Falls Count Anywhere match. Making his way to the ring from Memphis, Tennessee, weighing in at 195 pounds, the prodigy, Leon Lewis.
Leo just strictly outpaced the grit. Showtime brought the heavy hands, but you absolutely cannot punch what you cannot catch. The Prodigy is officially scrubbing the stain off his record and entirely proving he belongs in the penthouse.
You've got the hustle, you've got the product, and you've got the vision.
So why are you letting confusing tech and messy code hold your business back? Stop playing small. It's time to build a platform that actually converts traffic into real cash. Welcome to Legit Pipelines, the ultimate pipeline and sales builder built for creators who want results, not headaches. Capture high-value leads, unlock easy click upsells, and gain full access to exclusive digital content creation inside the Legit Design Lab. No coding, no programming, just pure profit. Secure the bag and expand your brand today. Go to www.legitpipelines.com and start your 14-day free trial right now. We are jumping right back into the absolute final men's qualifier of the first round. Dizzy is strictly radiating pure, high-speed tag team energy. He thinks he can just flip his way into the next bracket, but he is entirely ignoring Sergio Vargas. Sergio is strictly bringing that cold, calculated striking power to Friday Night Flow. The vault is open. Dizzy is actively pushing the pace. He is entirely refusing to stay grounded. The tag team specialist is strictly looking to use absolute high-speed chaos to punch his ticket to the second round. But Sergio Vargas is completely unbothered by the flash. He is actively tracking his target. The striker is entirely focused on clipping Dizzy's wings with pure, unadulterated strikes to strictly secure his spot in the tournament. It is pure high-speed agility, strictly colliding with calculated striking power. Ring the bell and lock the vault.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, representing the Hit Squad from Miami, Florida, weighing in at 190 pounds, Dizzy.
clear the airspace. Dizzy just strictly outpaced the brawler. Sergio Vargas was actively looking to ground the flight, but you absolutely cannot strike what you cannot catch. The tag team high flyer is officially punching his ticket to the second round.
I see everybody getting so worked up over this fatal four-way tonight. Y'all are out there strictly tearing each other apart for a tournament seed. I got absolutely nothing but respect for Karma's Power, Catherine's Brawlin', and Sweet Dream's Hustle. But let's keep it entirely real. I didn't just come to dance, I came to run the show. Whoever survives that chaos tonight is just securing the right to step into the cypher and lose to the undisputed champ. You can keep your tournament crowns because I've already got the hearts of the people. Watch me fly.
The women's champion is radiating absolute confidence. She is entirely unbothered. But before we set those WTT seeds, we got another massive score to settle. Jordan Steele and Jade Crawford both suffered massive, humiliating upsets in their qualifiers. Jordan is strictly marching down the ramp looking to assert her athletic dominance. But Jade is entirely out here to protect her platinum brand. Ring the bell. Jade Crawford is entirely operating on pure desperation. She is actively looking for quick shortcuts to protect her brand and avoid another embarrassing loss. We got elite athletic discipline directly colliding with the manufactured diva. Ring the bell and strictly protect the investments. But Jordan Steele is strictly relying on elite premium technical throws. She is actively looking to bounce back from that upset and systematically shut her opponent down. The Olympian does not tolerate weakness.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing the Alliance, from Seattle, Washington, Jade Crawford, the Violator. And her opponent from Colorado Springs, Colorado, the Olympian Jordan Steele.
PR script. Jordan Steele just strictly canceled the industry plant. Jay Crawford was actively looking for an easy way out, but the Olympian is officially enforcing absolute premium technical discipline. The gold medalist is strictly scrubbing the stain off her record.
The crowns are officially in play. We are building the absolute ultimate bracket. The men are fighting through 2 brutal rounds of qualifiers, while the women are strictly surviving a 1-round gauntlet. 4 men and 4 women from each brand will match up in random order. At Watch the Throne, we are running an elite bracket-style tournament. Round 1 features 4 matches, Round 2 narrows it down to 2, and Round 3 is the absolute final war. The king and queen who survive the bracket get the ultimate prize. They strictly choose which championship they want, regardless of the brand. Mayhem or Flow, the choice is entirely theirs. It all goes down for the women's division on August 1st and the men's division on August 2nd. Live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Kick, and Twitch.
The qualifiers are entirely locked, but we are closing the vault with an absolute war for leverage. Catherine Baker, Karma, Smoke Green, and Sweet Dreams have all officially secured their spots, but tonight is strictly about the seeding. The winner gets the ultimate advantage going into the PLE. We got 4 of the absolute most dangerous women on this brand directly colliding at the exact same time. Secure your investments because business is officially open. Sweet Dreams is strictly pushing the broadcast boundaries. She is actively acting like a fragile model, but do not let the Miami draw fool you. The absolute second the bell rings, she is entirely dropping the act and relying on terrifying 6-foot Amazonian strength to strictly ragdoll her opposition. But here comes the true apex predator. Karma is the untouchable first lady of the label. She is strictly treating the rest of this match like a disposable opening act. She is a terrifying powerhouse, actively planning to violently overwhelm anyone who steps in her path. Good Lord! Smoke Green looks like she just paused her stream. The Oakland Stoner is entirely immune to the corporate politics. She has absolutely zero ego, but do not underestimate her. The second that bell rings, she is strictly entering sweat mode and operating with blinder high APM gamer speed. And here is the absolute final boss of Friday Night Flow. Catherine Baker is strictly viewing the other 3 women as minor inconveniences. The European giant is completely unhinged and actively looking to systematically execute anyone in her way. We got an absolute unadulterated clash of egos. Ring the bell and protect your assets.
The following is an elimination match. Making her way to the ring, representing the Alliance from Miami, Florida, Sweet Dream. representing the Alliance from Amsterdam, Catherine Baker.